Time spent waiting for your flight is rarely enjoyable, but you can always do better than this. Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we'll be discussing some of the worst major airports that you should avoid. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at some of the worst airports in the world, taking into account their reputation and ratings on various review sites, as well as their prominence. Hong Kong International Airport, Hong Kong. Honestly, we almost feel bad starting off this list with Hong Kong International. With 65,000 employees working for them, it's clear that the airport's management is trying their best. Unfortunately, compared to other top-tier airports from around the world, it simply doesn't perform as well in terms of traveler feedback. Then again, with over 68 million passengers traveling through it every year, you can understand why customer satisfaction might be hard to improve. Relative to its peers, Hong Kong International falls short in terms of food and beverage options. It's by no means a culinary wasteland, but it could stand to improve, especially opening hours. Another common issue are delays. According to airhelp.com, it scores a 6.2 on 10 in this regard. Over at airlinequality.com, the most common complaints have to do with lack of seating, poor signage, and unsurprisingly, long wait times. Newark Liberty International Airport, Newark, New Jersey. If there's one thing that most of these airports share in common, it's that they're prone to tardiness. Newark, however, is an exception. According to airhelp.com, Newark on average scores a halfway decent score of 6.7 on 10 in terms of its on-time performance. Unfortunately, that's just about the only metric by which Newark seems to be passing. Looking at various review sites, it seems that travelers can't find enough bad things to say about it. Long lines, check. Dirty terminals, check. Terrible Wi-Fi, rude staff, and a lack of quality or affordable food and beverages, check, check, and double check. First opened in 1928, Newark definitely has age working against it, but aging facilities alone can't account for the many ways in which this airport falls short of traveler expectations. To quote the heading of one review, passengers are apparently, quote, disgusted by the experience. Ouch. Dusseldorf, Germany. Germany is a nation known for its organizational excellence. Unfortunately, it would seem that no one told that to Dusseldorf International Airport. The third busiest airport in Germany after Munich and Frankfurt, both of which perform notably better than Dusseldorf, this airport sees over 24 million passengers pass through its terminals in the average year. Based on reviews at airlinequality.com, however, it would seem that only 4 out of every 10 passengers were remotely satisfied with the experience. The most consistent and recurring complaint has to do with the queuing times. The trademark Germany efficiency is, it would seem, entirely absent from this airport. People also give it low marks in terms of the quality of food and beverages, shops, and the airport staff. On the bright side, it does seem to be a notably clean airport, and people give it high marks for the clarity of the signage, even if it does get a little overly specific. Edinburgh Airport, Edinburgh, Scotland. The Scottish capital is an absolutely beautiful city, one that we highly recommend visiting if you ever get the chance. But considering it's such a popular international destination, attracting over 4 million visitors each year at festivals alone, it's hard to wrap your head around the airport being such a big disappointment. Add to that the fact that it's also a major economic center, and it's easy to understand why there are so many disgruntled businessmen complaining about it online. As they say, you only get one chance to make a first impression. With only one runway and a single passenger terminal to its name, however, Edinburgh Airport is seemingly doomed to disappoint the 14 million passengers who pass through it each year. It simply doesn't have the infrastructure to handle that sort of volume. People frequently complain about the lack of seating. Adding insult to injury, they also charge you a fee simply to go through the drop-off zone. Rude customer service, poor Wi-Fi, and uncomfortably cold temperatures, it's little wonder that this airport has a 3 on 10 on airlinequality.com. Paris Orly Airport, Orly and Villeneuve-le-Roi, France. Think Charles de Gaulle is frustrating to navigate? Well, you're right. It does actually perform quite poorly compared to other airports of its size and prominence. Most complaints have to do with the quality of service and the frequency of delays. With that being said, a trip that takes you through Paris Orly Airport will give you a whole new appreciation for Charles de Gaulle. If the staff at the latter is known to be brusque and dismissive, the employees at Paris Orly are downright rude. And while Paris may be considered among the greatest gastronomic capitals of the world, passengers report having to pay a small fortune to get anything resembling decent food. Online reviews label Paris-Orly the most disorganized airport and advise would-be travelers to avoid it at all costs. There are even accusations of security bending rules about what is and isn't allowed in baggage in order to steal from passengers. Such claims are, of course, anecdotal, but taken all together, these comments don't paint Paris-Orly Airport in a very favorable light. Manchester Airport, Manchester, United Kingdom. Manchester is a destination that requires very little introduction. It's home to the world-renowned soccer team Manchester United, a football club with more trophies than any other club in the country. Unfortunately, the airport with which they share the name Manchester has become rather infamous. In short, Manchester Airport feels really cheap, not in the sense that it's affordable, but rather that they cut corners and attempt to squeeze as much money out of customers as possible. One of the greatest sources of passenger dissatisfaction is the fact that they charge a drop-off fee. That's right, you need to pay them if you're dropping off a friend or family member. There are also frequent complaints about the terminals being short-staffed, dirty facilities, lack of accessibility, and poor security, resulting in cars being burglarized. In 2018, passengers had to be evacuated from a waiting area when the floor threatened to collapse. Eindhoven Airport, North Brabant, Netherlands. This northwestern European nation is one that everyone should attempt to visit at least once in their lives. And while Amsterdam is obviously the major draw, the Netherlands has so much more to offer. As such, we're big fans of people exploring the countryside and other cities like Haarlem, Gouda, and Delft. That being said, even if you do choose to visit the southern province of North Brabant, you'll want to avoid Eindhoven Airport, despite it being the logical point of entry. Opened in 1932, it's the second largest airport in the country, but far from second best. Some of the biggest and most common complaints heard about Eindhoven is that, in stark contrast to the country's stellar reputation for hospitality, the employees tend to be quite rude. Then there are the wait times. Any journey through Eindhoven Airport comes with a complimentary side of extremely long lines and a general lack of efficiency. Lisbon Portela Airport, Lisbon, Portugal. With some of the lowest prices in Western Europe and its rich history and culture, Portugal has recently become something of an it destination. Lisbon in particular has proven so popular with international travelers that many are calling it the next Venice, in a good way. Though a trip to Lisbon is sure to be unforgettable, you might want to fly into another airport or find a land-based alternative method to get to the city. According to airhelp.com's 2019 evaluation of major airports around the world, Lisbon Portela, also known as Humberto Delgado Airport, is literally as bad as they come. It scores a 7.3 on its quality of service, 7.4 for the food and shops available, and then really earns its poor reputation with an abysmal 4.7 on 10 for its on-time performance. In short, it's all but guaranteed that you'll experience a delay at Lisbon Portela, arriving, departing, or both. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Mojo Travels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.